This is a heavy but important truth. Christianity in Africa carries two faces, one of oppression through slavery and colonization, and another of resistance, power, and liberation. How did a religion used to enslave Africans become the same force that inspired freedom and revival? Let's walk through the real history. Early Christianity in Africa. Before slavery, many people think Christianity was brought to Africa by Europeans, but history says otherwise. Christianity entered Africa as early as the 1st century. The Ethiopian eunuch in Acts 8 was one of the first converts. The Coptic Church in Egypt and the Ethiopian Orthodox Church are among the oldest Christian traditions on earth. Great thinkers like Tertullian and Augustine were Africans. By the 4th century, Ethiopia already declared Christianity its state religion, long before most of Europe. So Christianity didn't begin as a European religion. Africans had it first. Christianity and the slave trade. From the 15th century, European powers, Portugal, Spain, Britain, France, began the slave trade. Missionaries arrived with traders and soldiers, and Christianity became a tool of control. Africans were called heathens who needed to be saved. Some European theologians twisted scriptures like the Curse of Ham to justify slavery. To them, enslaving Africans was a way to civilize and Christianize them, a deep spiritual manipulation. Christianity in Africa during slavery. In West Africa, missionaries built schools and churches. Some opposed slavery, but many worked alongside those profiting from it. Africans were told to abandon their ancestral spirituality, labeled as pagan, demonic, or evil. Conversion often became a passport to education, trade, or survival. This was Christianity under oppression, a religion mixed with politics and power, African resistance and reinterpretation. But Africans didn't just submit. They resisted spiritually. In the Americas, enslaved Africans secretly mixed their traditional faiths with Christianity, birthing Vodum, Santeria, and Candomblé. In Africa, people created new forms, Ethiopianism, Aladura churches, and African independent churches that blended the Bible with African rhythm and spirit. Enslaved Africans saw themselves in the story of Moses, God freeing his people from Pharaoh. They saw Jesus not as a European savior, but as a liberator of the oppressed. Visionaries like Kimpa Vita in the Congo even taught that Jesus was African, and she was executed for it. Through pain, the gospel became a voice of resistance. Colonialism and missionary Christianity. In the 19th century, the colonial project and missionary Christianity became one. Religion was used to pacify Africans, teaching obedience, submission, and loyalty to foreign powers. Education spread, but indigenous wisdom was erased. Still, Africans rose, forming their own churches, prophets, and revivals that refused to bow to colonial Christianity. By the 20th century, Christianity in Africa began to burn with new fire. Leaders like Desmond Tutu and Kwame Nkrumah used the gospel to fight apartheid and colonial rule. African theologians created Black theology and African liberation theology, declaring that God stands with the oppressed. Today, African Christianity is alive with prophecy, healing, music, and spirit, not because it's European, but because Africans reclaimed it, infused it with their essence, and made it their own. Dual legacy. The truth is complex. Christianity was used to enslave and destroy. Yet it also became a weapon of freedom and unity. The Bible that once justified chains became the book that broke them. African Christianity today burns with prophetic fire because it carries the memory of both pain and power. It is no longer European. It has been reborn through African consciousness. The same gospel, once used to bind Africa, now fuels her liberation. Faith, when purified from oppression, becomes power. That is the real story of Christianity in Africa.